to order on October 13th, 2020. Andy, if you'll do a roll call.
Okay, Rogelio. Is Rogelio here?
He's here. He has got mute.
Okay. Michelle.
Here.
Sally.
Here.
I'm here.
Thank you. If you want to stand, but I do have a flag. So if you'll put your right hand over your heart, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance
To the
flag
flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
liberty,
and justice for all.
(2020). Somebody motion?
Oh,
I
sorry,
didn't-
didn't hear you.
Didn't hear you.
Move to approve the minutes of the special board meeting of September 15th.
Second.
Any questions or corrections? All those in favor of approving the minutes of September 15th?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to B2, the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of September 22nd, 2020.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
A roll call.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Rogelio.
Aye.
Michelle.
Aye.
Sally.
Aye.
And I'm aye.
Thank you. Motion approved. Do we have Fatima here? Yes, there she is. Student representative from the high school. Fatima, I'm calling on you to make your report. Go ahead.
Students and teachers and counselors have been busy over the last 2 weeks. Our counselors have had 3 workshops targeted to senior students and the college application process. Last night, the video representation for 10th and 11th grade parents was posted on Parent Square, and tomorrow at 6 p.m., parents will be able to join a Zoom meeting to ask any questions for the video presentations. For more information, please visit your Parent Square account. Yesterday, Paper.co was launched at CHS. This new support system is available 24/7 and is a real live interaction with a tutor that will support students with questions on homework and provide feedback on essays when they are submitted for review. Information was sent to students and parents via Parent Square. This service is free to all CHS students. Athletic small cohorts, also known as pods, began last week with varsity football. This and next week, the following sports will be conditioning: football, girls and boys water polo, girls and boys volleyball, cross country, and cheer. For more information, start times and dates, students should contact their coaches. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fatima. That was great. All right, Dinah, your report, please.
Thank you, Sally. So today I'd like to recognize the CUSD elementary principals, Jamie Pursoon and Michelle Fox, as well as their staff at Canalino Family School, Aliso and Summerlin, for their tireless work in preparing for the reopening in-person instruction at their schools. I'd also like to recognize the CUSD district office staff for their diligent work since July to provide all the necessary supplies and safety protocols for a safe reopening of our elementary schools. Today was the first day, and as I reported earlier, a quote from a Catalina student said it was 1,000 times better than Zooming. So it was very successful at all the 4 schools. We are implementing the hybrid model, which means that students have been divided into 2 cohorts, cohort A and B. So cohort A is in person on Monday and Tuesday, and cohort B is doing their work remotely online. Every morning we have morning meetings, and so the in-person group cohort, the online cohort, and the independent study group can meet with their classroom peers and their teachers to start off the day. And then as the day progresses, they break up into their different groups. On Wednesday, tomorrow, the whole class will be online. And that's where both cohorts and independent study students can join the class for the morning. They'll be doing social studies, science, enrichment activities. And then in the afternoon, the elementary teachers will use their collaboration time to work with grade levels, prepare lessons, as well as their PLCs. And then Thursday and Friday is cohort B. As I said, at each school site, students have been assigned to cohorts. We have cohorts range from, today I saw 5 students all the way up to no more than 14 students. So essentially it was 5 to about 12 students. During the day, there is no mixing of cohorts and students, social distance 6 feet, and they all wear masks. Even our TK students had their masks on today. Each site is implementing the safety and sanitization protocols outlined in the August 11th reopening plan. PPE supplies have been distributed to each site and cleaning schedules are being followed. When cohorts are online, students will participate in art, music, counseling, GATE, EL instruction, tutoring, reading intervention, and the district software programs, Lexia, Dreambox, and ScoopPad. The next item is independent study for elementary students. At the end of last week, we had 42 elementary students, 23 at Catalino, 7 at Family School, 11 at Aliso, and 1 at Summerlin. They represent 7 grade levels, TK to 5, and they have opted for independent study rather than to return to in-person instruction. We have purchased the Calvert Learning Program by Admentum for $19,500 to provide the digital learning of grade level standards for each one of those students. My next item is COVID-19 testing. On September 24th, 123 CUSD employees were tested for COVID-19 by MRSA Labs, and the results indicated 0% positive for COVID. And then last week on October 8th, 109 more CUSD employees were tested, and again, 0% positive for COVID. We will continue the testing schedule, and the next schedule is October 22nd. For CHS athletics, the high school athletics program will begin their conditioning with varsity football on October 6th. And then this week, additional cohorts of athletes will be on campus after 3 p.m. to participate in athletic conditioning with their teams. Boys and girls water polo, cross country, football, boys and girls volleyball, and cheer are reopening in person in the next few weeks, with the majority beginning this week. Per public health guidelines, only school personnel, coaches, and students part of the small cohort may be on campus. Therefore, our CHS campus is closed to the general public during the week from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m., and we ask for everyone's cooperation. Another exciting item is the CMS Peace Builders Program. AHA has served more than 20,000 teens since 1999 and will continue their Peace Builders Program via Zoom for the middle school students to support them in feeling connected and engaged while developing empathy, responsibility, initiative, agency, leadership, emotional management, and teamwork skills in a fun, collaborative, and playful activities. CHS has benefited from a successful Peace Builders program for the past 3 years. We are proud to announce that Carpinteria has received a AAA bond rating. On Monday, September 26th, the district made presentations to Fitch Ratings and Standard & Poor's, the 2 agencies that determine the credit ratings, as we go out to sell the final draw of the Measure U bond series and refunding and refinancing of the prior year bonds. Fitch announced on Wednesday, October 7th, a rating of AAA for both the GO bonds and refunding bonds, and a AA on the IDR or issuer default rating, both very strong ratings that will save Carpinteria Summerlin taxpayers money. The bond sale will take place the week of October 26th. And then our last update is with Measure U. The modernization of the old CHS administration building, which will house the new CHS Student Success Center, is anticipated for completion in mid-October. Modernization for the gym began July 1st, and we're happy to report it is now 40% complete. The Measure U team has submitted the revised Summerlin preliminary concept review to the County Board of Architecture, and received preliminary concept approval on October 2nd, subject to just a few minor changes. There'll be one more meeting with the BAR this month to get final approval. We'll then submit the project to the Planning Commission, which is the entity that approves the coastal development permit. In addition, the architects are designing the detailed plans in preparation for a submission to the Division of State Architects. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jen. That's a lot of good news that we've had in the last couple of weeks. It's terrific. Thank you.
Have a comment?
Would you like?
I have a comment. I have
Yes.
a comment.
Go ahead.
On the October 12 superintendent report, it says that due to paid sick leave and expanded family and medical leave, we will not have enough staffing for the middle school or high school classrooms, nor substitute teachers. I think that this should have been thought ahead of time, like 2-3 months ago or so, when all of this was discussed. And I think that like other districts, taking away the class of 5 aides, because they pay more. I mean, why should a teacher who lives in Oxnard come to Carpinteria when Oxnard or Ventura or Santa Barbara, they pay more? That's one issue that I see. And I also think that that every school site should have been open regardless of at the same time, regardless of the day. If it's today, but every school site, or if it's January 7, 2021, that would be fine. But for everyone, in that way, we wouldn't have this teacher shortage. That's what I think. Thank you.
Rogelio, it's great that we can hear your viewpoint, and we're going to discuss it further on F1. When we get to that item, could you share some more of your information? We're
Sure.
going to discuss that whole item on F1. We're not quite there yet.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, are we ready for the next
Yes.
item, the presentation, Sally?
Yes.
Great.
I'd just like to just give you and Maureen a big congratulations on the AAA rating. I think that
Oh, thanks.
is something that goes overlooked by a lot of a lot of people, and that I don't know if most people aren't aware of the fact that most schools, most municipalities in California, because of the nature of the budget and the deficits in California, aren't able to achieve that AAA rating. And for a school district, especially one of our size, to get that really is a testament to our accounting, the controls and the mechanisms that Maureen has put in place, and that you've been helping with her, Diana. So I really want to recognize Maureen for the really good, excellent work she's done in preparing our financials and presenting them to these bond raters who then are able to go out and sell our bonds and get more. Essentially, what it means is more money is able to stay in the district, so that the taxes that our community members pay go further than if our bond rating was if we were rated at a lower level. It means we wouldn't have as much money coming back to us to spend in the community. So, and I really want everyone to recognize what a fantastic job Maureen Fitzgerald has done. So, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
It's, kudos to Maureen and
And my staff.
she and her staff. So this year, not only did she ensure over the past 3 and 4 years to manage to make sure that while we're working in Measure U, that we do achieve the bond ratings so we can save taxpayers money and our money can go further. I also want to remind everyone that because of Maureen's tenacity, she was able to secure the $5,000 bonus for every employee in Carpinteria. So we are indeed very fortunate. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Susan Klein Rothschild, who is here with us tonight. We are very lucky. Susan serves as the Santa Barbara County Health liaison between Public County Health and the school district. And we have been working with Susan since July, and I believe we've been meeting every week, every Tuesday morning with Susan in discussion about COVID-19 and how we can ensure that we can reopen and support our school communities and our communities to ensure that everybody is safe and make sure that we eliminate the transition of COVID-19. So Susan, we are so grateful that you've worked with us the past months, and we really appreciate your leadership and the work with the county health, and we are grateful that you're joining us tonight. So thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me and allowing me to spend some time with you. I am a liaison. I was a deputy director at public health a few years ago, so I come with a health background. My role now is to work with schools to make, we all want children to have a high quality education. At the same time, we want children and staff and parents to be safe. So it's that balance we're always looking for. And in public health, we take our guidance from the California Department of Public Health. We follow the state's guidance. We're not allowed to be any more flexible. We're allowed to be more rigid than the state. So we take the state's guidance and we implement it here locally. Just today, we were moved officially to a point where in Santa Barbara County, the state has a 4-tier system. Purple is widespread COVID in the community, and red, substantial, and orange, moderate, and yellow, minimal. We want to go down on that color spectrum, right? We are in red right now, and today we've been in red long enough where the state said, you, Santa Barbara County, have the ability to open all of your schools K through 12th grade. It's up to each district to make decisions about when and how to do that in a safe manner, because it's not automatic. As you've, I'm sure, discussed over the number of months here, we want to make sure we do it in a thoughtful way. There's guidance to be followed. There are things to do so children and staff are safe and healthy and they can appreciate it. And I thought it might be helpful to remind you and share with you some of the things that schools do and some of the things that we do at public health in the county to help make sure things are safe. So every school or school district that's opening must have a reopening plan. And I know you have one that you've looked at in depth and created based on the guidance, what needs to be in place. And your superintendent spoke very eloquently about how you want to have small groups of children. If one child or one adult has a positive COVID test, then everybody in that class needs to be quarantined for 14 days. So if you have big classes, then you have lots of people who need to be quarantined. One of our key jobs is to make sure that if we have somebody who has COVID, we immediately remove them so they don't transmit it to others. So you have a good reopening plan. You also have attested that you meet the guidelines from the state. You have made sure that your staff are tested routinely. And as your superintendent noted, when we test when people don't have symptoms, that's when we find out if there's somebody who has COVID who wouldn't know. They're asymptomatic. That's how we catch the disease and the virus quickly. So every school has to do these things to make sure they're safe for the students and for the staff. And then we at the county, we are doing other things to help support what happens. We are providing free testing, and I'm happy to say that the number of sites and the number of testing will increase dramatically beginning November 1st. So there'll be more free sites for anyone in the community, parents, children, anyone who wants to know their status, who may have symptoms, who may not, to get free testing to know. Again, the quicker we find it, the better we are at stopping it. We also have contact tracing. As soon as somebody has a positive case, every laboratory in the state reports to our county if it's someone who lives in our county. And we find who are the people that person had contact with within the last 2 days before their test or within the 2 days before their symptoms. Because it's right before you have symptoms and right afterwards that you're most infectious. So we want to find those people. In close contact is less than 6 feet and it's 15 minutes or more. So we're working on that intensively with every single case in the county. We are also providing support where we can to help people and help students and help families. So if there is a case that comes up in one of your schools, the Superintendent Rigby or anyone else can call me and we talk it through and we make plans. How do we make sure that we're moving in a thoughtful and timely way and taking the steps that need to be taken? You have an elementary school waiver. So you have taken the steps and you've just opened your elementary schools. We're thrilled to hear it was such a strong and positive beginning day. And we want to make sure it continues that way. So our goal is to make sure that we take it in a phased way and a thoughtful way. Now, we're in the red tier and we're allowed to reopen schools for in-person learning. If our rate of COVID in the community increases, if we have a lot more cases, then you'll see the health officer order will make it tighter because we have to all work together. It's not just a few people. This takes the whole community because the transmission could happen between people anywhere. So if we're in the red tier and it goes back to the purple tier, people have asked me, will that mean that we can't keep our kids in school? Right now, the plan is if schools are open, they stay open and in-person learning. What we will do is we will have more frequent testing of staff to monitor it. That's how we're going to monitor. We are aware, and the state is aware, we don't want to have kids and staff go back and forth between in-person and remote, in-person and distance. It's so difficult for people to make those changes. So we want to take it thoughtfully, we want to follow the guidance, and we want to make sure we're all prepared to do what's needed. So my plea is that we all consider those key core steps and not get lax. Face coverings are so important. Whenever I leave my home, I wear a face covering. It's just one of the most effective things we can do. Having physical distance, not having gatherings, having good hygiene, and avoiding travel. If we all did those things, we could really lower our rate dramatically. And then that means everybody in our community has less risk of transmission and less risk of disease. And that's good news for all. So right now, we are trying to balance the needs of students and staff and make it safe and make sure it's really safe and a healthy environment for our kids and our teachers and our staff. So those are kind of overall comments. I'm happy to entertain any questions you may have.
Yes, Susan, I have a question. So what they're saying is that children, in fact, can get infected, right?
I'm sorry, I had difficulty hearing you. Children can...
And children, in fact, can get infected.
Yes, we know from Santa Barbara County, there were just some numbers out today, and I can share with you that we had 318 cases of COVID with children between the ages of 0 and 9, and we had 834 cases with children between the ages of 10 and 19. That's in our county, and that's through September 30th. So yes, children can get it. When we look at other countries and other states, what we find is that most transmission is adult to adult transmission, even in schools. So we have extra caution for the adult staff in schools. But yes, children can get COVID.
And how about children? Can they infect themselves? You know, let's say a child has, and it gets infected, can that child pass it on to a classmate?
Yes, so this is why it's so important that children wear masks, just like adults wear masks and face coverings, that children keep distance. We don't know enough yet to know how easy it is for children to transmit to other children because we have much less positive COVID cases in children than we do in adults. So we're learning all the time. I can't tell you how common it is. We know children get it. We know they don't generally get it as severe, although there are some cases, but statistically, they do not get it as severely. We have numbers from our county about hospitalizations. We don't have children that have had severe COVID in our county in the same way. So we're learning. That's why, as you are doing in your elementary schools, we want to follow all the precautions to prevent the spread.
Thank you, Susan.
Certainly.
So I have a maybe comment and a question. Thanks for coming tonight, Susan. Really appreciate the information. So you've been working closely with Diana and her staff since early July. Is that correct?
Yeah, I actually started the very end of May and
Okay.
began meeting with the superintendents from all the public school districts in June, and it's weekly.
Weekly.
So I do.
And so the county has basically been working with our staff and administration and developing our reopening plan. Is that correct?
We've been consulted and asked questions and given guidance. It's your plan, but
Yeah.
we have given support.
But there's been back and forth and
Yes.
and comments and changes and things like that. And overall, I mean, you've already characterized as a good reopening plan, but I'm assuming you've seen other reopening plans throughout the county, correct?
Yes, I would share with you that when any school or school district applied for the elementary waiver, we had an extensive process of reviewing reopening plans because we didn't want to support and approve a waiver that was not at that level. So every single one of those plans for reopening was reviewed by a physician and a review committee. Then it went to our health officer and our director. Then it went to CDPH. It had to be approved at all those levels to know that we would be comfortable saying that this school is taking precautions as needed to protect the staff and the students.
Okay, and then the waiver basically goes through the same process, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And along those lines, I guess what I'm getting at is that this plan wasn't just come up with willy-nilly by our administration and not consulted with experts who have been studying the statistics and following the trends, because I spent a lot of time following the trends because this is a serious business for us and our community, our staff, and our students, and it appears that the trends have improved tremendously, not only locally but statewide and nationally. Would you say that's a correct characterization?
I would say it's changed. So in California and in Santa Barbara, it started off low. In July, it went very high for us very quickly, and that was very scary. Our hospitalizations were up, our number of cases were up. We didn't have enough testing. And then it started to come down recently. And I would say right now we are in a very good place, but that means I'm cautious. I don't want people to relax. This is how we're going to be keeping it sane. But California is steady now. There are parts of our country that are not. It is going back up again in other states. So as a country, we are not doing so well. Someone gave me the description. It's like a whack-a-mole. Goes down in one place, another one pops up. We don't want to be one of those pop-up places. We all want to work together.
So the county tracks, is there any way for the county to track kind of the unintended consequences of having the lockdown? Any trends as far as people that are getting treated for depression or attempted trying to hurt themselves or attempted to commit suicide or drug addiction, domestic violence, things like that?
I don't personally know those statistics, but I know that is an area of concern. Our Department of Behavioral Wellness monitors and does outreach, and this is a concern in Santa Barbara County and statewide and nationwide, quite honestly. Those of us, we've all recognized that being at home and not being with others is good in some ways, and it's also hard in many ways. People are social. Our children are social. They miss their friends. They miss the contact. We do too. And so it has definitely impacted people in ways that are not positive, both economically as well as mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, for sure. But I think it's also important, wouldn't you say, that we that those people who have comorbidities and who you know are vulnerable, you know, with whatever it may be, whatever health condition, those people still need to be protected, correct?
Wow, we really need to protect our whole community. If someone has comorbidities, they have other health issues, they are more at risk. I can tell you that 66% of the deaths in Santa Barbara County are for people 70 years and older. But they only make up 11% of our population. They are more at risk, right? And so we are concerned about them. And if our rates go up again, it will make everyone more at risk. There's a higher risk for everyone to catch it. So it is true that some are more at risk. It is also true that if we have a higher COVID case rate, we all have a higher risk of transmission.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Susan. That was very interesting. We appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. I know that you have to move on to Santa Barbara School Board. Thanks. Appreciate it. Bye.
Thank you. So we'll move on to D4, which is public comment. Monica, I'll let you take this over.
Thank you, Sally. Yes, we do have a few. We are going to start with Christy Cooney.
And may I just remind you that you have 3 minutes, and Monica and/or I will be timing you, and we hope that you'll keep your comments positive.
Thanks, Sally. I'm happy to hear that the first day of returning to in-person learning at the elementary schools went well today. For the students that so desperately need to return to the classroom, I'm glad, and I hope that that success continues. I'm here tonight to ask for your assistance for those children that cannot return to in-person learning at this time. The solution that has been provided for these children is an online independent learning program with no instruction from a credentialed teacher. And while a credentialed teacher is overseeing the program, they are only monitoring progress and provided feedback, not all of the services that is suggested by the Calvert program. I've been told that they do not have the bandwidth to actually provide daily instruction, and I completely understand that. This independent study program is significantly different than the distance learning model provided up to this time. And while I understand the district's focus has been on returning to in-person learning and supporting those students who suffered during distance learning, we need to make sure that an adequate distance learning solution is implemented for the students that cannot return and that they don't suffer as a result. Without an actual instruction by a teacher, this option feels like we're going several steps back from where we began when distance learning started in the spring. It's great that we're allowing children who cannot return to in-person to continue to connect with their teachers in classrooms each morning, and some teachers are even making materials available for those students as well. And for that, I'm very grateful. But again, there's no instruction given on a daily basis. I completely understand why the classroom teachers can't continue to instruct the children at home as they're focusing on those in the classroom. And we don't have the technology, funding, or ability for the teachers to Zoom or record their in-person classes. Again, I get it. What I ask is that we find a way to employ a teacher to continue distance learning as these students have been doing up to this point, rather than force them to independent study. Without a teacher actually providing instruction each day, these children who cannot return will suffer and fall behind. To turn them over to an independent study program with no instruction from a teacher is not an adequate form of distance learning, and I think we can do better. We have been told that families choosing independent study have the time and resources to make that choice. That's not the case for all the families who cannot return to in-person learning. While there are not many kids who can not return at this time, they still need to be supported and be given a quality distance learning solution. Independent study is supposed to be a choice, but there are no other options for those that cannot return to in-person learning at this time. Again, I ask that we provide a true distance learning option with an actual teacher for these students. I've been a parent with CUSD for 12 years and have been an active supporter of our schools, the administration, and the board during this time. I've come to the board less than a handful of times asking for your help, So please believe me when I say I would not be making this request if I didn't feel it absolutely necessary for the well-being of our children and the betterment of their education. I truly believe that CUSD provides our children with an excellent education, and I ask for your help.
I'm sorry, it's time up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christy.
Thank you.
Next, we have Maria Perez.
Monica, I don't think Maria joined us today.
I did see her before. So,
I saw her too.
yeah, so let me look really quick.
Okay. I don't have her on my list.
I don't think she's there anymore.
I think she logged out.
Yes.
She left.
Okay. Then we have Jamie Dimon.
Hi.
Hi, Jamie.
So I'm really glad to hear that the first day went well, and I do echo some of Christy's sentiments. So I just wanted to say that, but I just wanted to talk to the fact that with school reopening, I'm wondering if there's any way to get extra signage out along the routes to school that kids are taking, because I think our community has gotten used to kids not going to and from school for so long. Traffic safety was a major issue up until the moment of the COVID lockdown. And I just want to make sure that's not lost in the shuffle of everything. Traffic safety, although there are fewer people and we don't have, say at Catalino, the high school traffic as well. I think people aren't really aware or used to having little kids walking and riding their bikes to school again. So I don't know if there's some type of additional signage that can be put out near schools. But I think that would be really important. Then also to look at that once high school and the middle school reopen. I know the Hawk system is happening at the high school, but traffic safety was a huge issue up until literally the moment of the lockdown. And I don't want us to lose sight of that in the grand scheme of things, because I know there's so much going on, but that's a big one. So yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jamie.
Thank you.
Next, we have Russell Reese.
So we're on F1 now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't have any prepared comments. I just thought I'd cheat a little bit and use this to make a couple of comments. First, I just want to echo Andy's comment about our bond rating. I think some people don't understand that part of that is all the $10 and $20 million homes being sold on Padero Lane and Sandyland. But I also know that Ms. Fitzgerald has done a great job. So that is a big deal. And thank you.
Thanks, Russell.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to E, board
I'm sorry.
policies.
One more quick one.
No, sorry, you have to have called Monica before 3 o'clock on the day of the meeting.
No, excuse me,
No, that's,
Sally.
I think it's Russell.
Russell.
Oh, sorry, Russell, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead, Russell.
Just a quick one. I didn't have the opportunity to talk to Christy Cooney about her comments tonight, but I've worked with Christy since Catalino, and I just encourage you to take those seriously, because I know what she said sounded important, and so I'd support that. Thank you.
Thanks, Russell. Okay, moving on to E1. The board is asked to approve the first reading of BP and AR 4119.11, 4219.11, and 4319.11. Sexual.
I'll move to approve.
Second. Lost Sally's sound.
participates in the complaint process established for the purpose of this policy. The following policies shall apply to all district employees, interns, volunteers, contractors, job applicants, and other persons with an employment relationship with the district. May I have a motion to approve this?
Move to approve.
Second.
Second. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Talking about F1?
No,
No?
No,
E1.
E1,
E1.
E1, yes. It's the policies right now.
Yeah, okay.
All those in favor of board policy administration regulations?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? The motion is approved. E2 is the board is asked to approve the first reading of the new AR 411912, 4219.12, 4319.12, Title 9, Sexual Harassment Complaint Procedures. The complaint procedures described in this administrative regulation shall be used to address any complaint governed by Title 9 of the Education Amendments of 1972, alleging that a district employee was subjected to one or more forms of sexual harassment stated on this regulation. May I have a motion to approve this regulation?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion's approved. Moving on to F, Educational Services. F1 is the recommendation to reopen in person. The board is asked to approve the superintendent's recommendation to reopen in-person instruction at Carpinteria Middle School and Carpinteria High School on January 7th, 2021, second semester. Anna?
Yes, thank you, Sally. So I'd like to provide some background information. On September 29th, Governor Newsom announced that the Santa Barbara County would move from the purple to the red tier due to the reduction of new COVID-19 cases and positive tests. For the past 2 weeks, Santa Barbara County has remained in the red tier, which allows for all schools in Santa Barbara County to reopen in-person instruction on October 13th. As a matter of fact, the CUSD elementary schools did open today in a hybrid model. However, the district leadership team at this time is recommending the reopening date for the secondary schools for CMS and CHS be postponed until the beginning of second semester, January 7th. Due to the availability of paid sick leave and expanded family and medical leave related to COVID-19 under the Families First Coronavirus Response Act until December 31st, we will not have adequate staffing for the middle school or high school classrooms, as there are very few secondary content area substitute teachers. Additionally, there's only 1 month before the first semester ends, and it would be too disruptive for secondary students, high school and middle school, to transition to a hybrid model so late into the first semester. The small in-person student cohorts will continue, however, at the middle school and high school athletics will continue in person on campus. So we're recommending that the board approve the reopening of in-person instruction per the August 11th board adopted reopening plan at the middle school and high school on January 7th, 2020, at the beginning of second semester.
May I have a motion to approve this recommendation?
Move to approve.
Second. Do we have any public comment on this?
No, Monica, there's no public comment?
Sorry, no,
does
we
the
don't
board
have any
member-
public comment on this.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Do the board members, did we vote? Are there any
No,
questions?
I think Rahilio wanted to make a comment.
Yes, I was gonna say, any question?
Yes, I think that having the middle school and the high school start in January, I think that it's not a good idea. It's just that this should have been thought ahead of time, like I said, 2-3 months ago or so, and hire or provide additional compensation for teachers, for classified teachers. Years ago, the idea came up of having a pool of substitute teachers where that way if we need 2, 3, 4 substitute teachers, we'll have them. We don't have to fight with Santa Barbara, Oxnard, or any other district because we know that they would be available anytime. But I remember back in August of 2016 that this recommendation was rejected by the board at that time, and I think that it should have been approved, and I think that that we should come up with we should try again in passing something like that. That way, because we don't know. Just like Kristen said, we don't know with this pandemic. Will it come back? We don't know. Now, if it comes back again, then we're going to be facing again the same problems. And what we're doing right now, on my own opinion, is that like sending our children, elementary children, to in-person teaching at risk because they can get infected, and there might be some infection among them, and there is right now, or they were at home, they were safe. At school, anything can happen. The risk is out there. So because remember, Susan said it only takes one child. To actually close a whole classroom, and a lot of people can become quarantined. So I think that that is why every school site should have began. If it's today, let it be. If it's next month, let it be. Or if it's in January, let it be, but everyone together. That way, we will have every teacher available instead of looking for substitute teachers and not finding any of them. And they should be compensated. Just like I said, I think that that Santa Barbara, Ventura, Oxnard, they get paid more, and that's why they stay there, or they go there instead of coming to Carpinteria. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I don't think I understand what Rogelio is saying. Are you suggesting that we have essentially pay teachers standby, substitute teachers standby, so that they're available to come to Carpinteria?
A pool, yeah.
There is
because
a pool.
Can we compete with Santa Barbara? Let's see, trying to find, let's say, substitute teachers. Can we compete with Oxnard? Because remember,
I think we can.
Because remember, most of our teachers, where do they live? They don't live in Korea. They live out of town, north or south, but they live somewhere else, and it's driving a few miles and getting more money. I would do it. I wouldn't even have to think about it. Not finding the truck.
But where's this money going to come from?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Cut down in costs. Cut down in costs.
Well, 87% of our costs are already associated with labor. So are you suggesting we cut we cut our teachers' salaries so that we can pay our substitute more?
No, I'm suggesting, for example, when we get, I have some examples when we get to the warrants. That's where money should be cut.
Okay.
All right.
Michelle?
No, I have no comment.
There has been a substitute pool for years, Rogelio, and at the moment, because of COVID, just aren't substitutes available for middle school and high school with specific content area subs. May we have a vote on the reopening of school? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Did you vote, Rogelio?
Nay.
The motion is approved. F2 is the board is asked to approve the purchase of Calvert from Edmentum. Calvert is a digital learning solution for elementary families that have selected to remain on independent study as elementary schools reopen in a hybrid model. The cost is $19,500 and it will be paid from LLM. May I have a motion to approve F2?
Move to approve.
Second?
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion is approved. F3 is the board is asked to approve the purchase of Swivel, a complete video review and collaboration solution for K-12 schools. Swivel is a solution to bring sanctimonious learning to the classroom for students both in class and at home. The district will pilot Swivel in 5 classrooms. The cost is $5,754.15 and will be paid from LLM funds. May I have a motion to approve?
Excuse me, Sally, I just want to make the point that it's synchronous learning, which means that for our teachers to pilot, that they're able to be teaching in class and at the same time teaching their students remotely. So it's a technology that many school districts use, and we're interested in piloting it in hopes that it's something that we can use technology so that we can be teaching both synchronously, both cohorts at the same time.
Great, thank you. Any further questions? May I have all those in favor of this motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, the motion is approved. We'll move on to business.
I'm sorry, Sally, who made the motion?
I did.
Oh, thank you.
Moving on to G, business operations facility. May I just remind everyone that we always have homework before these board meetings, and we are obligated.
Pro, Sally. Uh-oh.
By being prepared, our meetings.
Sally, you've gone out there.
Yeah, she won't hear us.
Has to approve the warrants for the period of 9/18/2020 through 10/08/2020 in the amount of $9,507 and $9,509.04.11. Warrants are issued once a week on Thursday. The report format shows check number, check date, payee, brief account description, payment comment, and check amount. May I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second?
Thank you. All those in favor of the warrants? Oh, sorry, are there any questions?
I just have some observations. Page 2 at the very top. It's Ernest Caius, check amount, 9,025.
Rogelio, I'm going to ask you again, if you have questions about the warrants, that you are to go to the district office, text or call and ask those questions ahead of time. I am going to move on because we've talked about Ernie Kai's. He worked some overtime and that's why he's being paid more money.
That's what's supposed to be included over here. Because
I went into the district office, I asked those questions, and that's the answer to the questions. He worked weekends and was paid overtime.
okay, so let me continue. Page 3.
Sorry, my sound's off.
Just an observation. Negotiations, legal fees, negotiations, and personal issues, 43,825. Just telling you, watch out. Watch out. It's huge amounts of money that has, believe me, a lot of this money shouldn't be spent in this. Remember, I've told you to bankrupt the district. Now, at the bottom of this page 3 again, it says Myra's out of service. No, sorry. It's about the repairs to bands caused by theft or vandalism, 25,000. What happened?
Rogelio.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Diana. Or Marie.
I don't know. What happened?
5 vans had been vandalized and the catalytic converters had been sawed out of the vans.
All right, okay.
I'd like to.
That's what I have. Thank you.
Sally, we've lost your audio.
You're still, Diana, I can hear you.
Rogelio.
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you again. If you have questions, please go to the district office and ask them ahead of time.
No, I'm going to tell you why. Not. Because I have my own way of going through the attachments. I cannot do it during the weekend. I cannot do it on Monday. I go through this on Tuesday. So a lot of these questions I come up with this. The minute whenever.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to call for the vote.
Meeting. So that's you want to do it that way. That's fine with you, but it's not my way. That's why I represent my community. I mean, and they want to know. That is why that's why I got elected. That's why I ran a campaign. I wasn't appointed. I was elected. I was elected 4 years ago because of the same reason. Rogelio, we put you up there and find out about transparency. That's why I'm here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Believe me, I wouldn't be here.
I'd like to call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I approve it.
Thank you.
Those were just observations.
Thank you. Moving on to G2, the board is asked to accept the donation from the Carpinteria Rotary Charitable Foundation Talent Show of 70 portable music stands, each with a protective case and refurbished German violin valued at $1,200 to the Carpinteria Unified School District Music Program. May I have a motion to approve this?
Move to approve with gratitude.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 G2 is a donation from Michael Murphy to Carpinteria High School. The board is asked to accept the donation from Michael Murphy of $500 to the Carpinteria High School Computer Science Robotics Club account. Can I have a motion for that?
Move to approve with gratitude.
Second.
Any questions? Thank you again to the Rotary and Michael Murphy. All those in favor of this motion?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, G4 is a contract with Clean Harbors Environmental Services. The board is asked to approve the contract with Clean Harbors Environmental Services, Inc. The district is required to mitigate and manage chemical waste and disposal resulting from maintenance of vehicles and buses. The cost of this contract is $5,245.08 and will be paid from RRMA funds. May I have a motion to approve this contract?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. Moving on to H, which is Measure U. The board is asked to approve the service agreement prepared by FCG Environmental for asbestos monitoring and clearance testing associated with Carpinteria High School gymnasium renovation project. The amount of
wait, Sally, we have to go up to
sorry, I had to go back. I'm sorry.
G5.
We're on
sorry.
G5.
Which is the contract with CJ Cito for qualified industrial stormwater practitioner services. The board is asked to approve the contract. The California State Water Board requires that a qualified instructional stormwater practitioner conduct level 1 evaluation and provide a level 1 report on all sites and involve mechanical repairs with possible effect to stormwater drains. Fixed fee of $9,012 will be paid with RRMA funds. May I have a motion to approve G5?
Move to approve.
A second.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion is approved. Okay, now. Motion, did I read all that? No. So G6, the board is asked to approve the applications and certification of water service from the Montecito Water District to provide water access on the Whitney property located in Summerlin. The Whitney property currently does not have a water meter, resulting in a dry property with no water access. During the previous recorded drought years, water access to the Whitney property was not a
We need to get Sally a better Wi-Fi connection.
Yes.
a water meter, totals $21,838 and will be paid with general funds. I have a motion to approve
Well,
this.
hey, Sally, could I
Yeah.
read that again? Because you went out about right at the beginning of your description.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So the board's being asked to approve the application of certification of water service for Montecito Water District to provide water access on the Whitney property located in Summerlin. The Whitney property currently does not have a water meter, resulting in dry property with no water access. During the previous recorded drought years, water access to the Whitney property was not available. The district and district council have been working with the Montecito Water District to provide a water meter and water access to the property. Montecito Water District has approved moving forward with a water meter for the property. Cost to obtain the water meter is $21,838 and will be paid with general funds.
Thank you, Andy. May I have a motion for G6?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Any other questions about?
Well,
water?
I would just like to comment here and let everyone know that maybe isn't aware that Whitney property is really surplus to the district's needs. A school could really never be built there. but it doesn't have much value as a dry property, as everyone can imagine. So by achieving, getting access or getting granted a water meter, it increases the value of that property. I don't know how many fold, but several fold, which then will help. Will go into our facilities fund and help offset some of the costs for many of the major U projects.
Thank you, Andy. Did we make a motion?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor of G6?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion's approved. G7 is the Bay Alarm Surveillance System proposal for Carpinteria Middle School. The board is asked to approve the contract with Bay Alarm to install a high-definition surveillance system at the Carpinteria Middle School campus. The installation of a camera surveillance system is to deter vandalism to the campus, as well as to help identify perpetrators when vandalism does occur. The cost of the system is $33,615 with an annual monthly service charge of $260 and will be funded with RRMA funds. May I have a motion for this G7?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. How many cameras are we talking about on this project?
I'd have to pull up the quote. I don't have it in front of me.
$11 color exterior and interior cameras that will be connected to one of 4 PoE switches located throughout the building. The PoE switches will have its own backup battery. Bay Alarm will use Cat6 cabling. So it sounds like the video recorder includes 24 camera licenses. So this is all in our information packet, Rogelio, by the way. And the recorder is capable of managing up to 128 cameras with additional licensing.
Yeah, it's a total of 7 dome cameras with additional feeders that feed off of those.
Okay. Actually means that the whole middle school will be covered.
Not the whole middle school. It's mostly for the quad area that keeps getting vandalized.
Okay.
And doesn't it include the maintenance yard as well?
The maintenance yard separate. This is just the middle school exclusively. We've already approved the high school. This is the middle school.
Thank you.
I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion's approved. Measure U. H1 is the approval of contracted services with FCG Environmental for gymnasium renovation. The board is asked to approve the service agreement prepared for asbestos monitoring and clearance testing associated with Carpinteria High School gymnasium renovation project. The amount of $7,350 will be paid with Measure U bonds. May I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Are there any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion's approved. H2, the approval of the contract with Kruger Benson Zimmer Architects for architectural services associated with the gymnasium exterior painting. The board is asked to approve the attached proposal for professional architectural service for exterior painting of the gymnasium at Carpinteria High School. The services include coordination with the construction documents phase, bidding phase, and construction administration phase. The estimated fee of $6,800 will be paid with Measure U bond funds. May I have a motion for this?
Move to approve.
A second? Any
Second.
questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. A motion to approve. H3, the board is asked to approve the completed contract for campus modernization at Carpinteria High School. The completed construction contract amount is $6,479,011.88, paid with Measure U funds. May I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Is there a second? Thank you. Are there any further questions?
I'd just like to say it looks really good over there.
Yeah.
Boxes are beautiful.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. What is this?
Personnel
Aye.
summary.
The personnel summary, the board is asked to approve the following recommended personnel items: assignments, change in assignment, and resignations. May I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
Are there any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Board announcement, and may I just remind you that this is on various activities that involve the school, the staff, or the students.
I actually have something that I probably should have made comments when we were talking about the reopening plan at the high school, but because I know there were a lot of teachers and staff attending tonight. And I just want to let them know that I think we all realize that everyone has a lot of uncertainty here and is scared, rightly so, about being reintroduced to a bunch of folks that you don't necessarily know what they're doing outside of your class or in their free time, and that brings with it some concern, especially when you're going to be inside all the time. But I think the reopening plan and this is all the things that at least I've taken into account, and I know other board members have as well, but the reopening plan that the staff has developed over the summer and through the fall here in close communication with these health officials, I think is very good. And there are lots of safeguards. We have PPE. Our cohorts are going to be small, and more importantly, because everyone knows I have 2 kids in high school now, and a lot of us have kids, and we know that the elementary kids need to get back to school, but these older kids may not be showing the effects in their learning necessarily of the shutdown, but you see it in their effort and their enthusiasm and their zest for life. And I'm around a lot of these boys and some girls now, and it's really sad for me to see these kids that were full of life and vigor and wanting to, nothing was going to stop them, and they're losing that. And it's the damage that is being done to these young people, and I almost feel like we're not taking their futures away, but they feel like we're taking their futures away because they aren't able to live life. I'm getting emotional here, but I want to let the staff know that, we care about all of you as well, but it's really important that we don't lose sight of the fact that our kids are suffering here, and it's, they need to get back to school. They need to start socializing. They need to start hanging out with each other, and they need to start communicating and interacting. And they can't, because they're going to do it anyhow, and they're going to be more apt to follow the rules and wear the mask and do the social distancing if they're in school. They see their teachers, they know their teachers are some of them are going to be really concerned, and because they love their teachers, they love their staff, they love all these people, and they're not going to do things. They're going to be more protective of you than be back in school than if they're out on the street hanging out in front of McDonald's with their friends without their mask on. That this is going to make them more aware of it. So I know that it's a tough thing right now, and then a lot of you are scared, and it's rightly so. But kids need to be back in school, and you know, I'm hopeful that the damage that has been inflicted on them is reversible. I think it is, because kids are resilient, but it can't go on much longer. And I hope you all realize that. It just, you know, and if you really don't feel comfortable coming back to school, just don't come back, because it's, you know, it's not worth you jeopardizing your health. And I hate to say that, but I think it's really, we can't lose sight of the fact these kids need to be back in school. So I should have said that earlier, but I felt I needed to say something.
Thanks, Sandy. Michelle?
Yeah, want to say something? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, go ahead, Rayleigh.
I'm going to say it in Spanish than in English. Sé que muchos de los estudiantes de cualquier edad han pasado por mucho, han pasado por incendios, han pasado por deslaves y ahora la pandemia. Lo que yo les pido a todos es que a todos estos estudiantes, a todos los padres, que esto es una lucha que tenemos que combatir todos juntos para salir adelante. Y nunca digan, ya no puedo, porque sí pueden. Con complicaciones, pero sí pueden, tienen ese potencial dentro de ustedes para lograr lo que ustedes quieran hacer en la vida. I just want to say to the students that they have gone through a lot. First, the Thomas Fire, then now the Montecito, Mudslide, now they're going through the pandemic, regardless of the age. Elementary students, middle school students, high school students. We are in a battle together. Students, parents, teachers, everyone. I just want to say to students that do not let all of this discourage you. Just keep going forward. Keep studying as hard as you can, and because you have a dream inside of you, and you have that potential to fulfill that dream, and it's only with determination that we can all get out of this, but we have to do it, all of us together. Thank you.
Thank you, really. Michelle?
No, I have nothing.
I just wanted to say thank you for everybody that made this happen today. The staff and the district made every effort to have us open safely and securely. And we really welcome back all the students, the staff, and we thank the parents for their patience. I also would like to say that the Carpinteria Children's Project, which is at Main School, along with the food bank, has been distributing food for a number of years monthly, and that was about 110 people a week that they gave food to. A month, sorry, it was about 110 a month. After COVID, because of community donations and the 93013 Rotary Fund, they are serving over 500 people a week, the food bank and CCP. So I would really like to thank Maria Chesley and her staff for all their hard work getting all this, and the volunteers, because I know
I think that's 500 families a week.
500 families. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you to all of those people. Monica, do we have anything for the calendar?
No.
Nope. Any future agenda items?
Nope.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn our meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all
Thanks,
for
Sally.
attending.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
Bye-bye.